Hello, everyone. I'm Mario Florio from NBC 10. Welcome to a Food Podcast, the place you can come to hear all about the great things happening on the local food scene, the wonderful restaurants we have, the local companies making delicious food products, the fun community events that highlight local cuisine. Joining me now is Isabel Noel with Cakes by Isabel Noel, with some delicious creations she's going to let me try, and she's going to tell us all about her business. Thanks for being here.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, so tell us how long you've been in business and how you got started.
I've been in business for a few years. Basically what happened was I've been in the restaurant business my entire life, and I was my last job working for someone else was for Kara Sheridan, who owns the Shanty in Warwick, and she is an absolute wonderful business owner. When COVID hit, it shut down the restaurant briefly, but I had some other things happening in my personal life that left me with a serious childcare problem, like a lot of people had. The schools were shut down. My son's father couldn't be around, and I had to really try to figure out how I was going to survive as a single mother, unemployed, with no child support. Fun times.
Yeah.
So the idea for Cakes by Isabel Noel was born. I had decided to kind of do a virtual bake sale and started with a project called Fresh Baked Friday. It was while we were all in lockdown, and basically I would put out a list every Wednesday of items that people could order, and they would text me back or hit me up on Instagram and order their items and come pick it up from me. After that, I moved into the kitchen of the Shanty and did my cake business out of there for Kara while I was doing the desserts for the Shanty. And it's just grown since then.
Wow. Had you always enjoyed baking or liked doing that?
Absolutely. My mother is actually a professional chef, and I grew up in a household with a little bit of elevated taste, as I like to say. I was always a fantastic cook, but around 2005, I made the decision that I wanted to tackle something a little bit more challenging, and baking is extremely challenging. There's a lot to learn. There's definitely a huge margin for error. And I just kind of put my mind to it and started it as my fun project and became a pretty adept baker, self-taught.
Yeah. How challenging was it to just kind of start your own business?
I was terrified.
Of course.
But, as they say, everything's a silver lining. Sometimes you don't take chances until your back is against the wall, and you have to get really creative. And it's the best thing I've ever done, and I thoroughly enjoy it. And now we have a brick and mortar where I have a bakery case, and people can walk into the store and pick up their cakes, and it's the dream come true.
Yeah, so tell us about that. It's called the Corner House.
Yes, it's called the Corner House. It's an upscale delicatessen, prepared foods, and bakery. It's a beautiful store, kind of a little oasis of culture and taste in our lovely town of Warwick. It's beautiful, bright, cheerful, gorgeous, owned by the same woman, as I said, that owns the Shanty down the road, which we all know is a fabulous restaurant. So it's upscale sandwiches, delicatessen, and everything's made from scratch. We have some nice prepared foods if you don't feel like cooking for the evening and you just want to pop in, or if you'd like a sweet treat, I also have stuff there.
Yeah, so this is on Post Road, kind of like Warwick, going towards East Greenwich?
Correct. Basically right on the corner of Post Road and Coesit. My favorite landmark is the giant Cello sign. Cello's on the waterfront. Their sign is in our parking lot. We love them. We're all very good friends, but that is absolutely the best landmark. You can't miss it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So tell us about the different types of things that you make, because everything you brought in looks amazing.
I run the gamut. Basically, I decide for my own personal taste what it is that I'd like to have in a dessert. So if that means like a really good cinnamon toast bread pudding, or my apple crisp that I've been making since I was 20 years old to great success, custom cakes. I love to do a lot of chocolate things. The most important thing for me is that it's made from scratch, it looks beautiful, it doesn't taste like chemical dyes, and that I enjoy doing it. If I like to eat it, I assume other people will as well.
You mentioned to me before we started this that you get your dyes a certain place, right?
Yes, I use an imported company called Color Mill out of Australia. What's amazing about Europe and Australia and countries like that is that they actually use much more natural ingredients, and there's a number of chemicals that are banned in those countries. So our food coloring locally in the United States tends to be chock full of red number 5, blue dye number 2, that kind of thing. And it was really important to me that the product not only look beautiful, taste beautiful, but also be relatively good for you. As healthy as buttercream can be.
And are you baking just like day in and day out?
It is my full-time job plus some. I run the gamut of stocking the store, stocking the case with the heat and eats, which is like the bread puddings, the apple crisps, brownies, cookies, cupcakes, that kind of thing. And then I really ramp up on Thursdays and Fridays for the weekend cakes. You can order custom cakes by either coming into the store and filling out a request form, which goes directly to me, or by emailing me at cakesbyisabelnoel.com. So I've always got a nice big stack waiting for me for the end of the week.
Nice, I'm sure. So tell us about some things you brought in. You have some beautiful cakes, and tell me about these.
I wanted to do just kind of an assortment. I mean, there's a million cakes that I've done, but one of my favorite that is actually on the Corner House website under my name, my thumbnail, is the Blue Ocean Stuffy Cake. This is a deep blue buttercream cake, and it's topped with my absolute favorite invention ever, which is the white chocolate stuffy. I did a white chocolate clamshell, and I fill it with cake pop so that it looks almost identical to a stuffy. I've actually had people ask me if it wasn't gross that the cake pop is actually in a clamshell, but it's chocolate.
It's not really a clamshell.
No, it's in chocolate.
Actually, when you look at it, it looks just like a stuffy. And with the blue cake, it just makes you want to, it just screams like ocean.
Absolutely. It is a Rhode Island cake through and through. We're known for our stuffies. Nobody else in the world seems to have them, and it makes me really happy. I think it's a visually stunning cake.
I'm going to take a bite of the stuffy because it looks amazing.
Breakfast of champions.
Oh, this is so good. So the filling is a cake pop?
That's correct. I use a vanilla cake and then with chocolate buttercream to kind of give it that toasted breadcrumb look.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing.
Thank you.
And you've got some cute cupcakes here that are very spring-like.
Yes, some of my Easter lineup.
Yeah, tell us about these.
So I brought you one that has like little chocolate bunny peeps on it, which I love, and then my mini egg cupcakes. I do these every year. I also do a matching cake that you can order. They'll be on the Easter order form, and it's just this gorgeous pale blue buttercream. The color is actually called Bluebell. And it's topped with 3 little chocolate mini eggs, which to me is just the most iconic Easter thing you could possibly have, and I love the colors.
Yeah, this screams Easter and spring. I'm going to try this. Your frosting is so good. Tell me about that.
Thank you. So that cupcake is actually a vanilla buttermilk cupcake. And then my buttercream, my little secret, I like to add some sea salt to it, which sounds bizarre, but really cuts the sugar from the powdered sugar and keeps it from being so sweet. So these are not one and done bites. You want to keep eating it and keep eating it.
Yeah, because sometimes it can get too sweet and it's almost too much.
Absolutely. It's very important to have a well-rounded dessert.
Now that you say that, I can taste that there's a little bit of that hint.
Just keeps you know why? Salt is what keeps you wanting to eat things. So I put it on my chocolate chip cookies as well. On that I use a Meldon sea salt.
Great transition there, because you have a chocolate chip cookie that has got a little bit of the salt on it, right?
Absolutely, yep. I do my chocolate chip cookies chock full. I worked on this recipe for years, just like my brownie recipe, and I finally perfected it. It's a hard line with a chocolate chip cookie because I personally don't want it to be super crispy, but it needs to stay chewy, and it needs to stay chewy on the shelf, which is harder than it sounds.
I'm sure it is.
A little bit of crunch, a little bit of chew.
I love that, because I love it chewy on the inside, but the crunch on the outside.
Absolutely.
Perfection.
Like anything else, you practice it 100 times before you get it right.
And these brownies look like they're bricks. I mean,
they're door stoppers.
They're huge, but and you said you worked on this recipe for what, 5?
I worked on my brownie recipe for 5 years. I, in my mind, had a vision of a perfect brownie. But every tiny little increment of plus 5 degrees, minus 5 degrees, plus 1 egg, minus 1 egg, baking soda, butter, cocoa versus chocolate versus cocoa, all affect the finished product. So I was really excited when I had a recipe that was so close but still a little bit too cakey. And I actually deleted 1 egg from the recipe I was using, and they came out perfect, and I've never looked back.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to try that right now.
Straight fudge from edge to edge with absolutely no cake.
That is so, it tastes like you said, fudge. It doesn't taste cakey at all.
Exactly. Straight fudge.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Mario needs some water.
No, I'm good. Oh my gosh. Now you have the cute Easter cupcakes, but you must do seasonal treats, right?
Oh, absolutely. So I always, as I was just thinking to myself, Valentine's Day is done, which means I will probably flip the store for Easter by Monday. So you can kind of get a preview of some of the chocolate treats. We won't go whole hog on that until probably the week leading up, but we do have seasonally for the whole month before. If you want to come in and get a peek at what we have or pick up a little treat just to cheer yourself up.
Yeah, people want to order something for a specific holiday or something like that. What's the best lead time for that?
Usually like 2 or 3 weeks out. Often it's waiting on me to edit myself down and put out my menu. I try to do that at least a month before the holiday for pre-orders. The pre-orders will usually involve desserts for your family dinner. Treat boxes. I usually have a themed cake or two that you can order. Some of my bar cookies, which are really popular. For this Easter, I'll be doing carrot cake bars, which are just phenomenal. It's like a chewy carrot cake brownie swirled with cream cheese. Those are excellent. And you can pop into the store and fill out an order form there, or you can email me, or honestly, if you reach out on social media, I can get you there as well.
Yeah, and I'm going to get all that info from you in just a minute. But you mentioned treat boxes. Tell us what that's all about.
Oh, treat boxes are one of my absolute favorite things to do. This idea, I really got inspired by what's happening in Australia and London and New Zealand in terms of desserts. They tend to be a little bit more forward thinking than we are. So what the treat boxes are is a great opportunity. Instead of having one dessert and having to cut and serve that, the treat boxes are a gorgeous array of like themed for the holiday, themed for a birthday, themed for an anniversary, whatever your decor is, I can match that with hand-tinted chocolate. So it usually tends to have a nice mix of baked goods, cupcakes, brownies, and then I do chocolate things like chocolate dipped Oreos, chocolate Rice Krispies, mini whoopie pies. And it's just a great way to have an array of different things that people can grab one of versus committing to an entire slice of cake.
That's nice. Variety is the spice of life.
Absolutely.
It's great to be able to choose from. You brought in a treat box here. I'm going to try, what should I try, an Oreo here? What is this?
These are the Oreos. Yep. Hand dipped, hand tinted with those lovely Australian food colorings.
These are so good.
You can tell they didn't come out of a box.
Definitely not. You can't go wrong with Oreo dipped anythings, right?
Exactly.
You've got cupcakes in here, cookies, a little bit of marshmallow stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is great. And you also have, you call them candy bars, right?
Yeah, I make my own homemade candy bars for the store. I have, I change some of them out seasonally. Some I try to do with like nuts and things, but I would say the two most popular, which I brought for you today, is the s'mores candy bar, which I do with milk chocolate, mini marshmallows, and golden grams, and they're absolutely fabulous. That's our number one seller. And then my personal favorite is the cereal milk bar. It's a vanilla scented white chocolate with a little bit of rose food coloring in it to make the pink cereal milk, and then it's topped with little nonpareils and Fruit Loops.
I was going to say, I see the Fruit Loops. That's so classic.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Thank you. Yeah.
That's a great idea because
you.
You say candy bar, you think of like something in a wrapper or whatever,
Right.
but this is like an actual square bar.
Exactly. It's handmade. Yep.
Very nice. And I notice you have cake pops too, right?
I
You do those too?
Those are handmade strawberry cake pops. And I do these with actual real strawberry.
Nice. Oh, really?
Yep, I use freeze-dried strawberries, which are horrifically expensive. You only need a little bit. You grind it up and put it into the cake, and it just makes all the difference.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a
Yep.
bite of that.
Isn't that great?
Wow.
It's like eating spring.
It really is.
Thank you.
And it tastes like real strawberry.
Yep, it has real strawberries in
I
there.
know. Oh my gosh, all this stuff is amazing. I know I only brought in just some of the stuff you do. I mean,
Right.
you have. What goes on in that mind of yours? How many different things?
Oh
can you
my
make?
gosh. Like I said, sometimes the problem is editing myself. It is never a issue of not having an idea. It's always an issue of not having enough time and hands, which is great. I have full creative control over what I do. I work with Kara, who owns the corner house where I work out of. We have a fabulous partnership. She knows that I am there to make the absolute most beautiful things for the store. So she doesn't really stress about me at all. And it's fabulous because I'm allowed to be as creative as I want to be, and I don't have to stress about that.
Well, we can tell that no one's stifling your creativity for
Not
sure.
at all,
All this
no.
stuff is beautiful. What about like private kind of parties and events, you could do all that kind of stuff.
Oh, absolutely. I've done dessert buffets. I've done weddings with full dessert buffets. One of my favorite weddings I did was down at Matunic Beach, and it was at the little Matunic Beach Club, and she had a hydrangea theme, but the bride was British, and she had kind of told me that off the cuff. So I made sure that I worked in some Victoria sponge as one of the miniature desserts. She had 7 different miniature desserts for her dessert buffet, and I did a little Victoria sponge in a little shot glass with a little British flag on it, and she just about died. She thought it was so lovely.
And she didn't expect that.
Not at all. You know, I've been extra since the day I was born, and no current plans to change that.
Well, this is all definitely extra in the best way possible. So again, so people can come into the corner house. You have a display of certain things, and then if they want custom specific things from you, how's the best way to get in touch with you?
Yeah, so you can pop into the store. I always have the dessert case, which is filled with my cookies, brownies, bars. I do cinnamon brown butter bars, which are one of the favorites. My chocolate chip cookies, my brownies are always going to be in there. If you want to order seasonally for the different holidays, they usually have an order form behind the counter as soon as I get that information to them, so you can grab one and fill that out. We also at the counter have cake request forms or bakery request forms. That is basically your chance to just kind of give me an idea of what it is that you're looking for with your contact information. That goes straight to me, at which point I would reach out to you and we would discuss your project. If you don't have time to come physically into the store, the best way to do it is my work email, which is cakesbyisabelnoel@gmail.com. It's all lowercase. It's exactly like my Instagram, and that just makes it easy. That goes straight to me, and that's the easiest way for me to get your info.
Great, and it's Cakes by Isabel with one L.
One L, no extra letters, Isabel.
And Noel.
Noel, because I was born on Christmas Day.
I was going to say, we have to let the folks know that fun fact.
Fun fact, my middle name is Noel because I
Yes.
was born on Christmas Day.
You were born on Christmas Day, and you are the gift that keeps on giving because all of this stuff is amazing.
Thank you. Here's my fun fact. My son doesn't want anything. He only wants Doritos.
Isn't that funny? It's so funny because anyone who watches and listens know I do so many segments with Chef Frank Terranova, who for years was at Johnson & Wales. Amazing chef. And his daughter is the fussiest eater and never eats anything he makes. So it's just
My
goes to
son's
show
not
you.
fussy, but he's been around cake his whole life. He's 9 years old, and he's just like
He's
over
had
it.
enough. He's
Yeah,
over it.
pretty
Yeah,
much.
Yeah. The one kid probably in the state that doesn't want sweets, right?
He wants Chef Mitch's fresh focaccia that we make at the corner house, not my cake.
I'll have to definitely try that. That sounds
100%.
amazing. Yeah. All right, Isabel, thank you so much. All this stuff looks amazing. It tastes even more amazing than it looks. So if you want to check out what she has, definitely go on her Instagram. Stop by the Corner House, Post Road, right near Cello's. You can't
Absolutely.
miss it. And definitely check out Cakes by Isabel Noel. They'll make you go, mmm.